Hey guys, welcome back. So let's have a little fun in this one, making fun of someone who should not be running a city. Let's run over here to the Zero Hedge again. Mayor Eric Adams of New York is who we're talking about here. We are in urgent need for help. New York City mayor starts freaking out over impending wave of illegal migrants. So basically, we run down into this article. He goes on to state how they've had 30,000 migrants show up to this city. 30,000. That's it. They are asking for $1 billion in help. $1 billion. Eric Adams seeks $1 billion from Biden as New York City migrant crush swells to 30,000. I want to highlight for you one particular sentence out of this article, and then we'll move on. I'll show you how they're currently spending the money, and you'll understand why they want so much. I don't think it's warranted, but it's why they want so much. According to Adams, we've already spent hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars paying to clothe, feed, house, and support this deeply in-need population. Adding, New Yorkers have been asked to shoulder this burden almost entirely alone, despite the fact that this challenge originated far beyond our city's borders. So, not entirely true. There is some self-infliction going on here. If we run over to this article out of City and State, we're going to look at, this breaks down sanctuary cities in the state of New York. In late 2014, Mayor Bill de Blasio signed 2 bills into law that significantly reduced the degree to which city officials would cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. But you want $1 billion from the federal government to solve this problem, and you've actively said, go pound sand. We're not going to cooperate or help solve this problem in any way. These illegal immigrants have free sanctuary here. They can get clothes, shelter, and food, and all the other nonsense that goes on. Give us $1 billion. On top of that, we'll take a look at a red state city, El Paso. I mean, right on the friggin' border. El Paso braces for 5,000 migrants per day post Title 42 as the feds give them $6 million. This city is getting 5,000 migrants a day. In a week, it will surpass everything that New York has. They're getting $6 million. New York has 30,000, and they're asking for $1 billion. A friggin' $1 billion with a B. We run down, we take a look. Here's what we're spending some of the money on. Absolutely and utterly ridiculous. Translation services, $8.2 million. So just translating what these people are saying, we spent more than all of El Paso has with their significantly higher influx of migrants. Shelter in Manhattan Run area, shelter in Queens again. We've got $32 million just for shelter in Queens. Just Queens. Oh my Lord. Shelter in the Bronx, another 10 million. Shelter in Brooklyn, another 10 million. Another shelter in Brooklyn, 9.6, basically 10 million. It costs us $335,000 just to manage all of this. This is just a tiny fraction of what they're spending. Like, do better. If El Paso can get by on 6 million with more migrants, you can get by on a lot less than $1 billion. Now, my opinion here is this migrant crisis is a win-win for Democrats. You're going to flood the system with a bunch of new dependents and people who will vote for you to try to stay in the country and on the take while not working and getting everything else. And then it's also a way for, if you notice, I'm not going to say I'd have to go dig a little bit deeper, but a large majority of these sanctuary cities are Dem-run cities facing budget shortfalls due to overspending and overcommitments. This is an excellent way to pump a bunch of money under the guise of doing good into those cities to prop them up and to keep them going. I mean, look at this, $1 billion into New York. Now, the thing that I didn't show you yet, if we run back over here, is even Adams is coming out and saying, hoping that ad doesn't play. Adams is coming out and begging the rich to stay. The rich are leaving in droves. He goes on to say in his speech, somewhere in here, I don't remember where it was, 51% of the tax revenue comes from 2% of New York's population. 51% comes from 2%. And they are done with the high taxes. They're citing that as a reason to leave. And the exodus in 2020 is now having a rippling effect throughout the city. They're using this migrant crisis to pump federal funds into these cities with these poor tax plans, these overspending. They're trying to bolster them and keep them alive. That's secretly what I think this is really about, is it's just a way to redistribute wealth to these poorly run cities. Anyway, I'll put links to this stuff down in the description. This man should not be running a city if it costs $1 billion to house 30,000 people. Move them outside of the city. Get them out of Queens and out of Manhattan. Go put them outside of the city. There's no reason they have to stay there. Bust them outside and put them in cheaper shelters. Like, come up with better solutions. You suck. Do better. I'll catch you in the next one.